Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Caleb Perez Show. It is currently Monday, January 12th at 12:30 p.m. We have some things to talk about today in the football realm, starting off with the NCAA transfer portal in college football, with some big names officially committing to their new schools, as well as some more ties to what we could see as head coaching hires in the NFL. Obviously, with some playoff results having already happened, I expect some more coaches to be fired, most likely, and I expect a lot more interesting names put out there as far as who the next new head coaches at new teams are going to be. Before we get into that, we just have one breaking news for baseball. Just to get the baseball out of the way, I haven't been able to talk baseball for a while. But this morning, Team USA officially announced that for the World Baseball Classic, which is coming up just around the corner, which I'm really excited for, that Twins outfielder Byron Buxton is officially joining Team USA for the World Baseball Classic, joining an outfield of what will most likely be Kyle Schwarber, Kyle Tucker, and Aaron Judge. So a very exciting outfield for Team USA. Of course, whenever Buxton's been healthy, he's been one of the best hitters in baseball. Really the brightest piece the Twins have going into their future, which doesn't look very promising right now. But Buxton certainly gives them a lot to look forward to, and USA fans are going to have a lot to look forward to with the upcoming World Baseball Classic, with Buxton officially now a part of their outfield. Now, getting over into the transfer portal, we have seen some big names officially commit today. We saw five-star true freshman from Ohio State, Quincy Porter, officially commit to Notre Dame to be part of Notre Dame's future. They desperately need some wide receiver help, and they're going to get that with Quincy Porter. Again, he's a former five-star, has a lot of great potential in college football. He's pretty fast, got a lot of speed to him, so he's going to be a great piece for Notre Dame. Second piece, Terry Moore, the Duke transfer who plays safety, has officially committed to Ohio State. He's 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, plays safety obviously. In his career, he has 116 tackles with 4 interceptions, 7 PDs, and 3.5 sacks in his collegiate career thus far. He has 1 year of eligibility left, and he is, of course, a former All ACC selection. So, and that's just in 2 seasons. So that's a big piece for Ohio State. Obviously, with Caleb Downs going off to the NFL, they needed somebody to help them at safety a little bit. And obviously, not just Caleb Downs, David Igmanosin as well. So the two biggest pieces of Ohio State secondary went off to the NFL, and they did get a couple of really good guys to replace him with the second guy as well. As for state safety, Earl Little committed to Ohio State as well. Well, I like Earl Little. He has 78 tackles and 4 interceptions in this past season. In this past season alone, he had 78 tackles and 4 interceptions. Was a really critical piece to that Florida State secondary, and he only allowed 1 touchdown the whole season. So, yeah, Earl Little, he's going to be a really big player for Ohio State going into their future. He has 2 years of eligibility left. Not sure if he's going to make it through the two, but he's definitely going to be a big piece of Ohio State's future, especially for this coming season as well. And then, like I said, Terry Moore, he only has 1 year of eligibility left, but he's yet again another big piece to Ohio State's secondary. We did get a couple big quarterbacks today. First of all, Arizona State transfer Sam Leavitt has committed to LSU. Obviously, LSU had a bit of a hole at quarterback with Garrett Nussmeier having just played his final year of eligibility in college football. So they needed someone to replace Garrett Nussmeier, and they get a great option with Sam Leavitt. He's got great wheels. He can throw the ball really well, too. He was really been the brightest piece of Arizona State's offense last season, and now he officially commits to LSU. He hopes to join Jaden Daniels as a past ASU player who transferred to LSU and then won a Heisman Trophy. Obviously, Jaden Daniels, phenomenal player in college football. Sam Leavitt looking to be the same as a part of LSU's new offensive scheme under Lane Kiffin. We know Kiffin had that bit of more of a running quarterback when he had Trinidad Shambles last season. He had Jackson Dart who can run the ball pretty well. So Lane Kiffin likes quarterbacks who can run and obviously just do great at the quarterback position in general. He doesn't want that, but Leavitt is going to be a really good guy for that Lane Kiffin system, and I do really think he could thrive with Lane Kiffin and some of the pieces he's going to have around him at LSU. But probably the biggest one of all, not John Harbaugh. What am I thinking? I'm talking about Harbaugh next. Probably the biggest transfer of all, at least in my opinion. We're still waiting for Isaac Brown's commit. We've seen a couple more Texas running backs go to the transfer portal, which is crazy. Their running room's going to be depleted. But Dylan Raiola has this morning officially committed to Oregon. He was a 5-star coming out of high school. He put up some great numbers for Nebraska last season. He was a big part of their offense. And you really could tell the difference about when he wasn't playing compared to when he was hurt at the end of the season. And Nebraska is desperately going to miss his elite production. Obviously, former 5-star recruit who was originally committed to Ohio State, then flipped to Georgia, and then flipped to Nebraska, where he has spent the last 2 seasons. He's going to be a junior. I believe he has, I think this is his last year of eligibility, maybe. But he is officially committed to Oregon. Now, obviously, there have been some rumors about Dante Moore's future, Oregon's current quarterback. We still are not completely positive if he is going to go to the NFL or not. If he is, Raiola did say that he would be willing to sit behind Dante Moore for a season and let Dante Moore finish out his career before Raiola took over the starting ranks. As far as I'm concerned, though, I do absolutely believe that Dante Moore is going to go to the NFL draft. I feel like, with the really his lack of depth at the quarterback position in this draft, which was supposed to be draft heavy, Moore did play the best, and he has been linked to the top 10 a lot. So, in my opinion, he will go to the draft, and that we're going to see Raiola as Oregon's starting quarterback next season. But yeah, it's a really big gain for the Oregon Ducks. Obviously, a lot of people compare him to Patrick Mahomes, and so sorry to Glaze Mahomes. I'm not Collinsworth, I swear. But he's going to be a big piece of that Oregon offense. Well, he doesn't run the ball too much, but he can run the ball somewhat fairly well. But obviously, that accuracy, though, that's what Oregon is signing up for. He is a very accurate quarterback. He's got a very strong arm, and he's going to be a big piece of Nebraska's offense going forward. So, yeah, again, just to go over, Ohio State gains two safeties, Earl Little and Terry Moore. Sam Levitt commits to LSU, and now Dylan Raiola has committed to Oregon. I'm still waiting on Isaac Brown. Isaac Brown. Brown was a great running back for Louisville. We have to see where he's yet to go yet. We saw Auburn wide receiver Cam Coleman committed to Texas, and obviously Brendan Sorsby committed to Texas Tech. But yeah, those are the big ones so far. We are still waiting to see where Isaac Brown goes, and I believe there's still a couple of big names in the transfer portal who haven't committed just yet. Obviously, I'm trying to keep an eye out, see what we get. Again, it's a lot of great names in the portal still. Obviously, we saw Chaz Coleman, the number one edge in the transfer portal. He committed from flip to Penn State to Tennessee. Ole Miss freshman wide receiver Winston Watkins committed to LSU, so he'll be joining Lane Kiffin at LSU. Michigan true freshman transfer corner Jaden Sanders committed to Notre Dame, so that's another gain for the Irish, as well as edge Keon Keeley out of Alabama. Another Florida State secondary man, Shamar Arnaud, has committed to Auburn. But yeah, we're still waiting for some big names. I've seen a lot of Penn State guys recently start transferring to Virginia Tech to join James Franklin. We've seen a lot of Iowa State guys go to Penn State to join Matt Campbell with the Nittany Lions. I think I've seen one or two Utah guys go to Michigan to be with Kyle Whittingham, and what will be now the Kyle Whittingham era at the University of Michigan. But overall, those are the big names thus far. Again, we're still waiting for Isaac Brown to commit. I believe there's still a few other really big names in the portal who haven't committed just yet. But this is the big ones today. Raiola and Levitt are huge. Like I said, Jaden Daniels was an Arizona State quarterback who transferred to LSU, and he did some amazing things with LSU. He became a top 5 pick because of his time at LSU. I know this season was rough, but last year the Washington Commanders won 13 games and made it to the NFC Championship game with one guy named Jaden Daniels. Levitt's got great potential. He's still really young. And now he's going to be joining Lane Kiffin at LSU to be a part of that LSU offense. So, really excited to seeing that. Also, we recently saw that Trinidad Chambliss, he had his eligibility waiver denied by the NCAA, followed by Trinidad and his team starting to file a suit against the NCAA, joining Diego Pavia of Vanderbilt as quarterbacks who are suing the NCAA for another year of eligibility. Personally, I don't see either guy getting in. I do believe we're going to see Chambliss and Pavia as a part of the NFL draft board sooner rather than later. They've been in college football for a while. It's time for them to go play at the next level. But oh yeah, Chambliss got his eligibility form denied. Chambliss will most likely be done playing college football, and Ole Miss will be looking for a new quarterback, obviously with Simmons transferring to Missouri. But as far as the head coaching in the NFL goes, moving over to that realm, I mentioned John Harbaugh a little bit. I want to start off with this. There's a lot of Green Bay Packers fans who have been calling for the name of Matt LaFleur, and a lot of rumors surrounding the idea that Matt LaFleur's time in Green Bay might be done. Now, when LaFleur does get fired, he's immediately going to become a top coaching candidate for other teams. After all, this he's only really had one bad season with Green Bay, and that was the 8-9 season. Obviously, this season kind of went off the rails, but when you see how many guys got hurt, there's a reason it kind of did. LaFleur's never been that bad of a coach, in my opinion. I always had a lot of respect for Matt LaFleur. I do expect him, if he does get fired by Green Bay, it's not 100% that he will, but should LaFleur get fired, he's going to be a top coaching candidate for every team in the NFL who's currently without a coach. But the reason I mentioned this is recently Adam Schefter reported, I believe it was yesterday or Saturday morning, that John Harbaugh was going to be linked to Green Bay should they decide to move on from LaFleur. After all, Harbaugh has ties to the Midwest. He has a home in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is obviously close to Green Bay, Wisconsin. And I believe he does have ties to somebody in the organization. So, that being said, if we do see the Packers move on from Matt LaFleur, we could absolutely see John Harbaugh being heavily linked to becoming the next head coach of the Green Bay Packers. As far as everyone else goes, I saw that the Falcons did recently interview Kevin Stefanski. I have seen rumors that John Harbaugh and the Browns have mutual interest to join forces. I recently saw Mike McDaniel interviewed to be the Browns' next head coach as well. Giants have had a few other guys go in there too. So, going to see a lot of guys getting interviewed. And I do like the fact that teams are reporting on who they're interviewing and being that transparent on social media. I think it's great. We can see who's interviewing who and who's going to be tied to where, as NFL teams who are currently coachless, and maybe executive-less are going to be searching for their new head coach. Um, Obviously, the only really big change there's only been one position who was fired on Black Monday who has already been fulfilled. That is the Falcons president of football operations. We saw them release Rich McKay or Mac, how the fuck you pronounce his last name. Yeah, there is no shortage of Falcons fans being just hating this guy. If you look at his moves, like he was just a snake in the corner biting with every bad move after bad move. He was a terrible executive. Falcons fans had no shortage of terrible choice words to go against him, and you can blame him. The guy was terrible. He was way out of his head as an executive. So with that being said, he goes. Atlanta can finally fully move on from 28-3 as every piece of that is now gone. And now Matt Ryan will take the reins of Atlanta's football operations. How he will do, we're yet to see. Way too early to figure out how good he'll do or not. But at least for now, Atlanta finally cleaned house completely, and they're going to be completely new top to bottom. New president, they're going to have a new GM, and they're going to have a new head coach. It'll be interesting to see what they choose to do with that. But yeah, not too much news in the sports world today. I already have my predictions for what's going to happen in Monday Night Football tonight. Again, only one more wild card game left. That is the Texans going to Pittsburgh tonight. I made my prediction video. Made it very clear that I do believe the Texans could win the Super Bowl or at least make the Super Bowl this year if their offense can get any kind of consistency going, because that defense is just world-eating. But yeah, Texans play the Steelers tonight, and that'll be the final game of the wild card round. We've seen every game so far already. We saw the Rams get redemption for their loss on Carolina by beating the Panthers. We saw the Bears complete their comeback against the Packers as the Bears beat the Packers. We saw yesterday Buffalo upset the Jaguars in Jacksonville, and the 49ers upset the Eagles in Philadelphia. Hopefully Nick Petulo gets canned. He is a fucking idiot who should not be a coach in the NFL, or any level for that matter. And we saw a great defensive performance from the Patriots yesterday. They took down the Chargers, not even letting them score a touchdown. It was a sloppy game. That game was really sloppy, in my opinion. Neither team could really get anything going consistently on offense, but Chargers' own line was just too beat up from the hang of New England. It was a really bad game for LA, and the Patriots easily move on. We have the AFC side of the bracket officially confirmed, with the Bills being the lowest seed. They will go to Mile High to play Denver, and we will see the New England Patriots play host to whoever wins tonight's game between the Steelers and the Texans. On the other side of the bracket, we're going to get another rematch of Seattle and San Francisco, a rematch of week 1, which took place in Seattle. San Francisco won that game. Obviously, they lost George Kittle for the season. That's a really tough loss for San Francisco, especially knowing that they're going to have to go play at the 12th man in Seattle. And we're seeing the Rams playing. Where are the Rams playing? Why am I blanking on this? Oh, the Rams are going to play Chicago at Soldier Field. Yeah, so Rams versus Bears at Soldier Field. We're going to get Seahawks versus Niners. That's the whole NFC side of the bracket for the divisional round. And obviously, in the AFC, we're still waiting for one game. That is Steelers-Texans. The winner of that game will play the Patriots in Foxborough, as the Bills will travel to Mile High in Denver to play the Broncos. I'll make a prediction video later on in the week. Obviously, we saw the college. I'll make a prediction video for the NFL at the end of the week, going into the weekend. And obviously, college football national championship has been decided, as the home team playing in their home stadium, the Miami Hurricanes, will take on Indiana. I'll make a prediction video for that one as well. I will fully break down their teams and those seasons that they're having right now. I think a lot of people already know how this game is going to end. I know for sure I do, but we'll see. It's college football. Anything could happen in college football. But yeah, I will make those videos coming out soon as well. And obviously, I'll make videos throughout the week as we continue to get closer to the end of the football season, approaching the All-Star break for hockey and the NBA, the Olympics. Around the corner, I could make a video talking about how the Olympic rink has been a total fucking disaster and has been awful in its construction, but yeah. So, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for joining me today. Obviously, I'll have some videos planned out for the rest of the week based on how news goes. I'll make some prediction videos for the NFL divisional round and the national championship game for college football. And yeah, we're approaching baseball season very quickly. The Daytona 500 is less than a month away, so NASCAR season's gonna be up and running again. So is Formula One. So it sucks that football's nearly over. We have a lot to look forward to as sports fans, so just buckle in because things are getting interesting. Yep, that's gonna do it. Have a good day, y'all.